Armand was an ordinary young man, full of potential, yet trapped in a cycle of laziness and procrastination. Every morning, he would wake up late, scroll through his phone for hours, and postpone even the simplest tasks. The days passed in a blur, and he often wondered where all his time went. Friends and family noticed his lack of motivation, but Armand felt helpless to change. Deep down, he knew he was capable of so much more, yet he kept making excuses for why today was not the day to start. His life had become a string of missed opportunities. He would start projects but abandon them halfway. Assignments piled up, and he faced constant stress over deadlines he had ignored. Social gatherings and important events seemed more like obstacles than chances to grow. Each failure weighed on him, and the guilt slowly built into a heavy cloud that he could not shake. Armand began to realize that his laziness was not just a habit, it was holding him back from the life he secretly desired. One day, a small but powerful incident shook him. While chatting with a close friend, he saw the progress others were making in their lives. Some were learning new skills, others were starting businesses, and a few had already achieved milestones that Armand had dreamed about for years. The comparison stung, and for the first time, he felt a sharp sense of urgency. He understood that time was slipping away, and if he didn't act now, he would remain stuck forever. Emotions ran high as Armand reflected on his daily routine. The comfort of laziness suddenly felt like a trap. He remembered all the promises he had made to himself, plans to study harder, to be more disciplined, to chase his dreams, but none of them had turned into action. Each reflection was painful, yet it lit a small spark of awareness inside him. This moment of clarity, though uncomfortable, marked the beginning of a turning point. The audience feels his frustration, guilt, and the heavy weight of wasted potential. Many will relate to that deep, aching feeling of knowing they could do more but not taking the first step. Armand's conflict is not just external, it is deeply internal. He battles between the comfort of inactivity and the desire for a meaningful life. This inner struggle creates tension and keeps the audience emotionally invested. Viewers begin to root for him, imagining their own lives if they remain trapped by habits that limit their potential. At the same time, subtle nudges from a mentor figure, a teacher, a wise friend, or even a family member, introduce the idea that change is possible. They challenge him to wake up, to stop waiting for the perfect moment, and to start taking small steps toward progress. By the end of this section, Armand is at a crossroads. He feels the frustration of wasted time, the fear of an unfulfilled life, and the pressure to act before it's too late. The audience is fully drawn into his struggle, experiencing the tension and emotional stakes. They understand the gravity of his situation, but they also sense the potential for hope. This section sets the stage for transformation, planting the seeds for the journey that will follow in section 2. The story style remains reflective and dramatic, making it easy for viewers, including ESL learners, to empathize with Armand's journey and stay emotionally engaged. After facing the reality of his wasted potential, Armand decided that he could no longer stay stuck in the same cycle. He started with small steps, waking up early each morning, creating a simple routine, and setting achievable daily goals. At first, it was difficult. Every habit he tried to change felt heavy, and old excuses whispered that he couldn't succeed. But with each passing day, he noticed small victories, finishing a task on time, completing an assignment he had delayed for weeks, or even exercising for the first time in months. These small wins became fuel for his confidence and slowly replaced the habit of laziness. The mentor figure continued to guide him, offering advice and encouragement without judgment. They reminded Armand that transformation is a process, and consistency matters more than perfection. Armand began to understand that every tiny action, repeated daily, could create significant change over time. He started organizing his studies, learning new skills, and even exploring personal projects that had once felt impossible. Slowly, he felt a sense of purpose returning, a feeling that life could be more than just routines of procrastination and regret. Armand's relationships also began to improve. Friends and family noticed his energy, focus, and positivity. They began to respect his discipline and sought his advice on their own challenges. These external changes reinforced his internal growth, giving him both pride and motivation to continue. Emotional highs in this section are crucial, as the audience feels the satisfaction of progress, the excitement of small victories, and the joy of seeing effort produce tangible results. Viewers are inspired to believe that they, too, can create meaningful changes in their lives with consistent effort. Obstacles did not disappear overnight. There were days when Armand felt tired, unmotivated, or doubted his abilities. But by remembering the frustration and emptiness of his past, he pushed himself forward. Each challenge became an opportunity to reinforce discipline and resilience. This realistic depiction of struggle ensures the story stays relatable and keeps the emotional connection strong. Audience members see that transformation is not about sudden miracles but about determination, patience, and perseverance. Finally, Armand's life began to shift in a visible, meaningful way. He excelled in his studies, completed personal projects, and felt proud of his accomplishments. Most importantly, he gained a sense of joy and purpose that had been missing for years. Life no longer felt heavy or directionless. Instead, it became full of opportunities, growth, and hope. The moral lesson is clear: no matter how deep someone is trapped in habits of laziness, intentional actions, consistent effort, and belief in oneself can transform a stagnant life into one filled with achievement and happiness. By the end of this section, the audience is left with a strong sense of motivation. They have witnessed Armand's journey from frustration to fulfillment, and they understand that the power to change their own lives lies within consistent, determined effort. The story emphasizes that transformation is possible for everyone who chooses to act and persist. The narration remains emotional, uplifting, and simple, ensuring that viewers, including ESL learners, can follow and internalize the message. This ending leaves the audience inspired, hopeful, and ready to take the first steps toward building a life they love.